Hey everyone, Voodoo here. So I did a video on Sunday, I think it came out, going over like a dungeon I did as Felscard, and I figured I'd do one for Aldrachi as well. So this is that. So in today's video, we're going to go over the talent build I used and do a bit of a commentary over some gameplay of Aldrachi in a dungeon. I should have a feedback video out sometime later this week talking about that. Then you'll probably see some of these videos for other specs as well. There's some stuff I want to check out. A monk one is in the works because Windwalker Monk's pretty fun, and a few other things. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Help grow the channel. Make sure you hit like, just spread the video around, and let's get on to the video. All right, so here we are with the talent build. Nothing too crazy from live in the spec tree, mostly just like what we're playing on live, except you drop most of the glaive talents. We're still playing Accelerated Blade because it works with Reaver's Glaive, and realistically Critical Chaos does like nothing in AoE. They doesn't really do a ton. Furious Throws and Soul Scar don't work with Reaver's Glaive at all, so there's no point in taking them. And Serrated Glaive is already a pretty bad node to begin with for AoE. We just put them into kind of Blind Fury to path down, get some more Fury that way. And we have one in Inner Demon here. This is kind of a flex point. You can put it in Glaive Tempest, which might be a little bit better. I have it on Inner Demon because it's just a little easier. I actually forget I'm playing Inner Demon at certain points in this dungeon, I'm pretty sure. But it's a little more passive AoE damage. There's already a lot going on with this spec with Reaver Glaive, so Glaive Tempest kind of muddles that a bit, but does do some nice AoE damage as well. And then this one point here is just for Fury and some damage. Nothing too crazy here. For the hero talent tree, the only choice is Keen Engagement, Preemptive Strike. The other ones are pretty locked in. Preemptive Strike does an uncapped AoE damage, but not a ton of it, so I went with it because, like, whatever. There's Fury here. You can get Fury from this thing, but you don't really need a ton more Fury in AoE, so I didn't really care there. The other two are kind of locked in anyways. And then finally on the class tree, actually, there are some choices. So the big thing here, there's 3 nodes. There is Sigil of Spite, Soul Sigils, and Chaos Fragments. Now, all of these are taken here just to generate more Souls. Souls is the name of the game. Souls gives you more Art of the Glaive procs, more Reaver's Glaives, and Havoc has realistically no really good ways to generate Souls outside of those talents and Chaos Strike. Now, Chaos Striking in AoE feels bad because we don't have like Chaos Cleave or something like that. So we take these just to kind of get it there. This also helps us get almost to our opener. Sigil of Spite plus Soul Sigils plus Sigil of Flame gives you 5 souls, which is 1 away from your opener. So we just kind of take that for there. And then the Chaos Fragments can kind of give you another one here and there, help bridge the gap. It sucks with the drop Collective Anguish. We're taking the Hunt because there's Hunt CDR. Honestly, Collective Anguish might be better than the Hunt, even with Hunt CDR. The Hunt is really weak now. We'll see. That's just going to be a testing and Sims thing. But that's kind of the talent build. Nothing too crazy here. There's like a cycle build you maybe could play, but in AoE, I think you'll probably just play something like this and use the glaives to amp up your essence breaks and stuff like that. So that's the talent build. Let's hop into the commentary. All right, everybody. So here we are with the Priory of the Sacred Flame. Let me just fix my camera a little bit here. So obviously there's going to be a G Fuel thing in the bottom right. Shout out G Fuel, sponsor of the channel. Code Voodoo for 20% off. Anyways, this is a kind of a crazy dungeon. Tank pull's pretty huge, so we're going to get a lot of uncapped AoE damage. I learned that Art of the Glaive slashes for Blade Dance is uncapped. I learned that in this dungeon. Pretty good. Way better than I thought it was. For some reason, I thought it was capped because Blade Dance was, but it's some weird thing that doesn't even relate to Blade Dance at all, so whatever. But yeah, we're going to skip around a lot. There's going to be some downtime, so I'll just probably skip through that. But without further ado, let's get into it. So right away, I'm just turning combat logs on. There are logs to this dungeon. I will post them down below. We go into our first pack here. So the biggest issue with this talent tree, I mean, I went into this dungeon without any CDs, is also an issue. But the biggest issue with the talent tree, in my opinion, is that it takes forever to get your first glaive. So these are the glaive stacks. You'll see them there. They do have a duration, which means they can fall off outside of combat, which is pretty miserable. I'm not sure there's any real situation in this dungeon where they fall off. But it can happen. If your tank's pulling slowly, if there's RP, if something like that happens, they can fall off. I do not see a reason why they need to stack like this. Who cares if I bring them from pack to pack? But alas, here we are. So I get my glaive proc at the end of this dungeon. So we do have it going into the next pack, and you can see some of the damage it can start to do, especially with whatever Reaver's Soul Elysian Decree. We're gonna do a massive pack here. Or I'm just going to get some souls built up. They should start to stack up a bit here. I believe I threw it out, and you'll see we're starting to kind of blast a bit here. Now, this pack here isn't too bad. We have another glaive up. We have my mouse off the screen so you can see my buttons down there. No weak ores or anything. We're just raw dogging it. But lots of damage from Art of the Glaive. Now, all those like traps you see on the screen, they spawn from I think some of the hunters in here, and they root you for 4 seconds if you walk into them. So you're basically just not doing your rotation anymore as a Havoc, which is great, very fun. So you do have to look out for that. But honestly, you get a lot of souls. Now, there's a ton of souls on the ground that I just couldn't pick up. So I think having some way of like a soul suck, right? Like Vengeance has Spirit Bomb. Just some way of guaranteeing that you can actually collect those souls into you would be great. So here we are going into the pack. That's the animation for the glaive. It's very weak. It's very like, who cares? And here we're going to see a bad thing. So I have the buff right here for Thrill of the Hunt, which is the damage amp. It gets consumed by meta. It gets consumed by the meta jump, which sucks. That shouldn't happen either. So there's definitely a lot of like weird things going on with this spec a bit. Another weird one is that oftentimes the damage amp you get just goes into like Chaos Strike because you just don't have anything else to push. But the burst damage for this spec with all the uncapped Art of the Glaives feels very real, I will say. And then you also have the option in single target to do like a 30% damage amp, which is like also really good. So I actually do like the versatility of this. I know in my last one I was mentioning how I wasn't sure how Feldscar could be topped. I didn't know this was uncapped. So this being uncapped makes it a lot better. Anyways, we're going up the stairs here. You'll notice sometimes I'll use my trinket. The trinket is like this single target damage proc, does a lot of damage. See here, boom, another like insane little AoE thing. I get rooted, 6-second root, but it's fine. I can still kind of do all my damage, doesn't matter. Boom, we're doing 2 million DPS from uncapped slices there. And there are a lot of souls that come out. So it actually felt a lot better in AoE than I thought it would. The issue is just like finding those souls, right? And the build up. Because oftentimes just going into a pack and not having anything really sucks. Not a ton you can do about it either, right? Havoc soul generation is entirely RNG. You can see there's a soul way over here I just don't see and can't get because I'm focusing on my character. So that feels bad. That feels really bad. They definitely need to look at that. But you do get these souls as packs die. So once you like, as long as you can chain between packs pretty reliably, then you do end up getting honestly a solid uptime. You can see I'm checking my details. Art of the Glaive is slamming damage. Doing way more than I thought I would. Now actually I'm gonna have 2 glaives going into here. You see I'm at 5 and I already have a proc down here. You can kind of stack them up that way, which is pretty cool. As long as your stacks don't fall off, of course. Because your stacks fall off, you're screwed. So we see here, we're actually getting dangerously close to losing our stacks. And we might lose them, because I don't think I noticed. Let's see. Okay, no, I used my soul sigil, so we got the proc. But you definitely can lose your stacks like that, which is like insane that that's doable. But again, so right now what we're doing is going to these side packs here to kill little like, I don't know what you call them, like little like lieutenants, I guess. And those pull away 2 ads that are on the first boss. And by doing that, you pull away different ads and can determine like which stuff you're doing, like which boss mechanics you're facing in the upcoming like boss fight or whatever. Because the whole thing is that boss has 2 little guys beside her. So that's kind of what we're doing here. I'll skip ahead until we fight them. They're right here. And I didn't even need to skip ahead. It's right there. Lots of trash in this area. So you have a lot of options for pulls. A lot of the things really hurt. There's a lot of mechanics. This boss does something called Repentance, which just stuns you, which is super fun. I love being randomly stunned. I don't know. You can see more burst damage here. The burst damage for this spec is very real. It felt a lot better than I thought it would with all the AoE glaive slashes. It's very weird it's uncapped, but you know, is what it is. Don't know how they're going to tune that. There's just no way for certain to tell which direction that's going in, but right now both Feldscar and Aldrachi are uncapped. You'll see this Blood Death Knight do crazy damage too, because Blood Beast Virulent Explosion is uncapped, so he just gets to like blow off. Here's the first boss. Honestly, this boss doesn't really do much, right? There's just 2 targets. They look at Hurl Spiral Frontal, which kind of hurts, and that's kind of it. Savage Mauling on a target. Yeah, I don't know. Not really a ton to talk about here. I'm just bursting down the ad. I don't know if that's better or worse. You can see I use my trinket there. Just a large single target hit. This isn't the first season. I think the trinket I used last dungeon, last time I did this, like the secondary stat proc trinket, was not in the first season. So I'm like, okay, well I should change that because it's from this dungeon. And we won't do this dungeon until season 2. So the boss is pretty easy. The only thing is like you really don't want to get hit by Hurl Spear. Hurl Spear kind of just hurts. Otherwise, good to go. So we go up the stairs here. Skip ahead a little bit. Skip ahead a little too far. So we pull this whole room. And again, you just kind of go off. Boom, boom. Uncapped 6 slashes of the thing. I'm doing 2 million DPS. I'm stunning. I'm getting sigils. I'm doing 2 million DPS. It's crazy. It's good. I don't get it. You have really constant uncapped AoE. Feels very good. Now, it doesn't give you any defensive benefit. There is no real defensive benefit. You're just healing a lot more with souls, which I guess is fine, but there's nothing really against one-shots, which definitely hurts it compared to Fellscarred, because Fellscarred has that one-shot capability, protection, which is much better. All this trash just kind of casts and puts down these things. We're going to skip ahead to the first boss. There's just more packs like this. I do a ton of uncapped AoE. What do you want me to say here, right? Here's the first boss. Second boss, sorry. So he comes down, and the other boss goes off. We've lost our Shadow Priest at this point, and this boss has mechanics that kind of amp over time. So one of them is that the hammer that spin out around him just do kind of damage to you, so you don't want to be in them. And there's another one that has like little explosions of light, and then we kind of kill them. So we don't even get to find out what the other ones are. There's like a casted interrupt. There's this shield, which kind of puts out 2 motes of light. I just stand out here. I guess I can put my sigil down for more glaives. There's the Reaver glaive again. It's so disappointing how little animations it has. Basically can't even tell you're playing a hero tree. Meanwhile, the other 2 Death Knights have like these really cool summons. Like that guy has like the Horseman, and the Blood Death Knight has the Blood Beasts or whatever, which sucks. So we kill that, and we're going up the stairs here into another pack. And then I want to get to this pull. So this pull is crazy. So what the tank is doing here, we're going up the stairs here, and he's going to pull this entire room. So you get to see some crazy AoE. Now, the healer dies, and then we die because the healer is dead. Obviously not great. But the tank is going to pull everything out. Now, I have no idea if this is going to be realistic in actual keys. We'll have to wait and find out. I imagine not, but we'll see. Having no coordination for this feels like it wouldn't be very good. But see, everything's coming in here. Boom, I get to slash everything. Everything's coming in here. We'll just I-beam everything. Drop down our sigil, get more souls. Drop down our other sigil, hunt, boom, this. Slashes. 1.7 million. Slashes. I think that kind of kills somebody. Yeah, people stood in those, I think. You can't stun them either, I tried to. But like, I'm just slashing my way downtown. And at one point, I think the healer does die. They're like healing or something. I don't think this is viable to pull this many mobs. I'm pretty sure they're healing. I think Inner Light, Greater Heal, something's healing all these things and making it so they're not actually killing everybody. There's like that death explosion that just went off, killed our healer, and then we kind of crump as well. Trying to heal myself, didn't heal myself for enough, and then I fall to the thing on the ground, which I didn't even notice. So we'll skip through the one run back. It's kind of lengthy. Time to get back, the whole pack had been killed by the Blood Death Knight. He ended up doing most of his damage through like blood explosion or something, which was kind of funny. Just another little pack here. This is a little I don't know what to call him. It's a mini boss, I guess you could say. Just pull all the other things in, and we just fight the mini boss here. Lots of big pulls in this dungeon, which could be fun. But again, a lot of them have like a lot of mechanics to them, so we'll see how that ends up working out. I could see it not being as fun. So we don't actually have the Reaver's Glaive up for that section. I just kind of sent it anyways. Reaver's Glaive, by the way, is off GCD. You can use it and not trigger GCD, which is really good. So it doesn't really muddle your rotation too much, which I think is a really good thing. If it was on GCD, it would really suck. Now, it does make it more complex, but it being off GCD makes it fit much more seamlessly into your rotation. There's a bit of a problem where it replaces Throw Glaive, and sometimes you just double tap Throw Glaive by accident. So that's just something to get used to. And like, maybe, I don't know if there's a macro that can do that. That's, I guess, a point of feedback. But honestly, it felt much better than I thought it would. Most of the issues with it, I think, are going to be like ramp up time on a single target, and then just carrying it between packs. The fact that the stacks can drop off, which is terrible. There's like some weird anti-synergy. There's like some weird wording. But I think the biggest thing is just like its visuals are so much worse than Fellscarred. Fellscarred has terrible visuals to begin with, and Reaver's Glaive is essentially not noticeable. So as we finish off this last pack here and go into the final boss of the instance, this boss has 2 phases. First phase, you're down here. Second phase, you're fighting it up top here, which is kind of interesting. So first phase, we just go ham. There's a kick. At one point, there's going to be like a little light ray that targets you. Holy Flame, I think it is a little explosion. Purifying Light comes down and just chases you, I think? No. Yes, there it is. Purifying Light goes on me. This lasts, there's a little debuff, I think, that caused it to last. And then once that's gone, I think it goes away. I'm actually not sure. It might just keep going. I don't know how that mechanic works. But we kill it off, we go upstairs, and then there's an absorb shield you have to break. Pretty sizable shield, honestly. We're gonna pulse, and while that's going, it's going to summon a bunch of little ads from outside of the, you can see over there, comes a ton of ads from out there. So we're just trying to DPS down the shield here. I have a Reaver's Glaive, and in single target, it's great to put up the 30% damage amp. You can see on the target here, that's a Reaver's Mark. You can double it for 30% or keep it normal for 15, which is crazy for 20 seconds. You can basically keep it up like 100% of the time, which is absolutely nutty. See here, I think we get another one, right? We soul, boom. Yeah, except I think I drop it, or I used it beforehand, or I don't know. I don't remember what I did, but there's lots of like bombs exploding. It's kind of a crazy fight. Pretty cool though. So we hop ahead here to our breakdown. The Glaive does so much damage. The uncapped AoE, this is crazy. Death Sweep has crazy damage because of Essence Break and because of all of the resets we're getting. Ragefire, Immolation, Aura, normal stuff. Trail of Ruin, uncapped AoE source. There is some bad stuff with the resets, which can cause Trail of Ruin to overwrite. It doesn't work like Ignite does, where Ignite kind of like stacks up the damage. This one doesn't work that way. This one is made in such a way where it like rewrites it, so you miss damage when that happens, which sucks. Sigil Flame, Sigil Spite, tons of damage from those. We're using them all the time. Sometimes they're buffed with our 20%. And then Inner Demon, Blade Strike, Blade Dance, Chaos Strike. Annihilation has like no damage on it because Chaos Strike often gets buffed by the glaives. Annihilation often does not. And yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Blessing of the Sacred Flame is a special effect your party gets if you have a priest or a paladin in your party. So you will need a priest or a paladin in this dungeon in Mythic Plus, which is great. But overall, I don't know if I scrolled down at all here for this breakdown. The glaive itself, Reaver's Glaive, does like nothing. Let me see if I scroll down. I don't know if I do. But you can see like it's not in this top two, and after we get down there, we're into like 2%, 1%. So most of the Reaver's Glaive damage stuff is from either the Mark, Reaver's Mark, or from Art of the Glaive. So the rest of the tree kind of doesn't do that much. The Hunt, nowhere to be seen. Hunt does like no damage now. It was like 2% of my total, which sucked. But yeah, so that's kind of that little breakdown. You can see if we just go back to just screen, that's my overall. Really, really high. We were doing basically massive pulls the whole dungeon though, so wouldn't read too much into it. But Art of the Glaive being uncapped is crazy. Death Sweep resets feel really fun, and I honestly enjoyed it a lot more than I thought it would. There are problems, and you'll hear about those problems in another video. But for now, that is gonna be it. I'll move so you guys can see Goose there, just kind of chilling and sleeping on his thing. But thank you all for watching. Let me know your feedback as well. What do you guys think about Reaver's Glaive and the whole Aldrachi tree and all that stuff? Personally, kind of weird, but whatever. Hopefully there's be fixes. I'll have a feedback post later. And yeah, so let me know what you think. Do you enjoy it? Do you not enjoy it? Do you hate it? Whatever. And I will see you guys next time. Peace. Also, if you want to watch the unedited clip of just doing the dungeon without me yapping over it, the link will be in the description. It's on Twitch. So follow me there if you want to see more like live dungeons. And yeah, so peace. A big thank you to all of my channel members. Thank you, Sky Elk, Andrew Keenel, 100,001 Zans, Brad Wisniak, Felfa Darren Dark Terror, and Magic Man 133. Thank you all so much. If you want to help support me and help fund the channels and the videos, follow the link in the description to become a channel member and get some cool perks in the process. Again, thank you all so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.